I look at it as a martial arts side of it because that's where I am from, and so I'm always going to be looking at that sort of side of it and how it's for me. I can see because I'm a martial artist. I can see and I can feel things probably a little bit quicker than most people because I'm pretty much in tune with, which is obviously what Qigong is sort of teaching us, is how to be in tune with our body a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
So I can start to see the benefits of like where does Qigong fit in my life, not just the Wing Chun that I do for, that I've done for many, many years. It's now looking at the Qigong, how does that fit, and how does that help my Wing Chun, and how does it also benefit me in mind and body as well. Because it's certainly, I believe that my movements definitely improved just by doing Qigong.
Okay, which is good. I mean, absolutely you're right. There are many applications of Qigong, and one of them is the martial aspect, where it is more, fearful or forceful in the breath and so forth. But you also get Qigong for health, you get medical Qigong, and there's a spiritual journey at the same time. And it's really up to the individual what journey they want to go down. Regardless of which journey you do go down, you'll find yourself engaging more in books about Qigong or activities surrounding the subject, or being more mindful with what's around you, so your environment. It certainly, how do you say, it invites you to discover more about Qigong.
You start to open your world a little bit more.
In a different way. And it's very natural, it's very, it's a very nice kind of way to view things. And like my personal experience with Qigong is that I live literally day for day, season for season, and the exercises that I practice personally reflect those seasons at the same time. Yes, there's so much Qigong that we do in terms of set forms and so forth, but when it's a hot day, you don't want to be doing a certain kind of Qigong versus a cold day.
Yes.
And vice versa. Or, the energy of the earth actually wanes between day and night, season and season. So you want the body to almost wane with those seasons and reflect those times of day and night. Okay. So I find like in the morning when things are waking up, you do a Qigong set that wakes you up with the day. Whereas in the evening, things are calming down. So you do a Qigong set that's going to literally calm you down, reduce activity, and produce a state of evening.
Yes.
Which is quite hard these days because we are living the 24/7, 365 life.
It's crazy
all the time, and we tend to forget the seasons. Forget that there's times to calm down, there's times to wake up. And this is where everybody, I think, the young, the old, kids included, are being affected by this, where they're going to bed too late at night, and there's a little too much screen time. They're struggling to wake up in the morning, they're not feeling ready to go. And this is where things like Qigong can step in, because it can help let the body understand what the rhythm of the day is, i.e. the circadian rhythm, to help people relax towards the end of the day, or how to get the day going. Some people find it very difficult. A cup of coffee doesn't do it for them. No. A cup of coffee with a little bit of Qigong and you're on your way.
So what would you say is Qigong?
It's the word Qi and Gong means energy, skill. So you're basically utilizing your own energies and also the energies around you. So there's nothing better than doing something when the sun is out, it's nice and bright, the skies are blue. It's a mood lifter automatically. But within yourself, you have energies that flow through your body. They're based on physical energies, things like the blood, the lymph, the oxygen, transformation of food into nutrients and so forth. And these things need to work in harmony. So when you're working with Qigong, it's basically harmonizing the body so that all these functions happen naturally. And you balancing. I think it's all about balance.
Yes.
Because as soon as there's an imbalance, you want to correct it by putting it back into balance, so that the body is operating harmoniously and as efficiently as possible. But coming down to Qigong is it's restoring vitality or promoting life force within your life, or just generally cultivating your own skill sets.
Yeah.
And the Qigong that we practice is it's very kind on the body. It's low impact, so you're producing very good results with not a lot of effort on the body. There's a lot of exercises out there that create problems because of impact. Running is great, cycling is wonderful, all these things are really, really good, but over time, if you use it as your default get fit regime, you may suffer an injury at some point in time. I'm not saying that Qigong is without its risks, as with everything, there could be the potential to.
Of course.
But that element of risk is very low.
Yes.
In comparison.
Yeah. No, definitely. But because we do the adult classes here anyway, and obviously I'm one of your students anyway, but also I see my students coming here and I see the benefits of them as well. So we always talk about like the adults is great, obviously, and they understand the risks involved. But for children, is it safe? Is it practical for them to do it?
Normally one would reserve Qigong for the later years. However, in today's day and age, I think kids practicing mind-body connection arts is imperative.
Definitely.
I mean, a little bit of Qigong where you're using the body and the breath and a little bit of mindfulness is actually a lot healthier than watching TV, and coming up with all these ideas of being a superhero and so forth, because it's just not real.
No.
However, the things that you can do when you connect to the bodies, in other words, bring the mind and the body into coherence, wonderful things happen. There's lots of positives.
Yeah.
Of course, whilst kids are developing and their creative minds are very active and their physical bodies are very active at the same time, and this is why you see kids are always active, which is good.
Brilliant.
You don't want kids to sit down and be quiet.
No.
You want to utilize that energy and channel it in the right direction. But also, the head gets very full of what's around.
Yes.
So there's a lot of social pressures. There's, what's the next TV or video game that you want to get your hands on? Let me just finish this. It's a nice way using Qigong to kind of like reset the environment, reset the body, just bring, all your mental energy and everything, just bring it down, make it nice and calm. And then through the continuous practice of it, it almost becomes second nature where, feeling that way is actually quite nice. Yeah. As opposed to being constantly going.
Yeah, no, definitely, because we look at it in the classes as well. We do it, obviously full on, we're hitting, we're working, we're trying to get rid of that, built up energy they have, whatever they've been doing all day. And then obviously we always sit down and do a little bit of with the bowl, the singing bowl, because they absolutely love the singing bowl. But I suppose this is just a bigger version of that really. It's just expanding on what we do here in the school.
Well, coming back to the sound bowl, there's 6 healing sounds that have been specifically used in Qigong for elderly and the young also, especially for kids, to release certain emotions from the body. It's something that we would like to incorporate into the classes with the kids, to bring in the 6 healing sounds, so that when anger resides in the body, because the beautiful thing about anger is that anger, you weren't born with anger, you were taught anger.
Yes.
So to get rid of that emotion, to rid yourself of it, it takes a little bit of work. And what you do is you do a movement with a certain sound, and you basically purge that so that you can resolve things. There's a few things like fear. Apparently fear sits in the kidneys, and there's a certain healing sound that you can remove certain fears. Grief sits in the lungs, and there's certain healing sounds that you can use to remove the grief and so forth. But it's done in a very soft, child-friendly way.
Make it friendly for them.
But absolutely.
Like lions and
that's it. You bring in the animals. You bring, and you go on holidays and you're doing all those sounds just by one little word over there.
So it's just a bit of fun for them.
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant.
And I think that's the ethos of it, is that you want to keep it fun.
Yes.
You don't want to complicate things by being too systematic and engineering all the pieces and so forth. You just want to keep it fun. You want to keep it flowing, and you just want to kind of go into what the Chinese reviewers say it's a wu wei flow. So it's an effortless flow. And whether you do the moves like this or like that, as long as the moves are done, that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
As long as you're having fun contributing, it's good.
Oh, definitely. I think this is obviously for us. It's something that we see in the world that we need to sort of look at, and you know, not that we need to change, because we certainly don't need to change things, our school or anything like that. But we need to adapt to the ever-growing concerns and fears that are being put into this world now. So I think, you know, the benefits. What would you say about the main benefits that we could look at in Qigong for our children?
Certainly, the mind-body connection is one benefit. Understanding, you know, the body is actually a beautiful thing, and you know, it's from when it starts to when it ends. You're going to go through growth and transformation always. As a child, you'll be growing and transforming. As a teenager, you'll be growing and transforming. Into your early years, you'll be growing and transforming. There's always a growth and transformation. And Qigong just takes you through that journey quite beautifully. You know, to, how to say, develop yourself internally, but also externally. So when you feel confident within, you can feel confident without. If you can, you know, take on, how to say, the virtuous emotions of love and compassion, you know, and bring it into the body, you can express love and compassion quite beautifully. But in terms of health, it stimulates the production of, how to say, well, circulation in the blood, most definitely, lymphatic, 100%. Just getting oxygen all around the body in a nice, efficient way. So it basically takes pressure off of the organs. So it makes the heart, I'd say, function better, the kidneys function better, the liver function better. You know, with Qigong, you tend to look a little bit further, whereas today we tend to look quite close. So it does develop the eyes, it develops your sense of awareness around you, your sense of body at the same time, and the benefits are numerous. I think, personally, you want to use Qigong and things like this to tackle things whilst they're quite small. So, you know, keeping yourself in a nice, harmonious, happy state whilst things in your life are quite small, instead of letting them grow quite big and then trying to tackle them. So just tackle things whilst they're quite small, and Qigong is a very useful stuff to do that.
Oh, brilliant. Excellent. So I think, I mean, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add or you wanted to sort of talk about today, but I think pretty much covered a lot of the grounds there.
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely for people to get out and be active. I think that's number one.
Yes.
Yes, there's things like yoga, breathing exercises and so forth. But the nice thing about Qigong is that it incorporates it all into one. So during the classes, there'll be physical activities, there'll be applied breathwork at the same time, and then the power of visualization just brings it all together, which is amazing.
That's brilliant.
So
excellent.
I look forward to teaching the classes.
Oh, it's brilliant. We'll be looking at doing the seminar over half term. So we've got obviously a few. Well, there's quite a lot of interest already. So we've got a few of them, and then obviously we are already talking about developing this further and being a class in the actual Kung Fu schools.
Absolutely.
Which is brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And it's always great to talk to you anyway, but it's great for everyone else to sort of start to hear and understand these benefits that we look at and we take for granted, I suppose.
Perfect.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Welcome.